Greetings, it's the Garlic Bread Warlord, and it is a hot drop for soccer over there. Yes, it's a hot drop, not an actual live show. Sorry, everybody. I know that you would like to hear Jason and John get on to me about my love for Italian soccer and random jaunts of the imagination, but unfortunately, we're all over the place. We can't be doing it. It's the holidays. What do you want us to do? Come on, huh? Help me out here. Can you help me out? Just tune into the show. Listen for a little bit. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're doing Excel spreadsheets and you're like, good God, I need something to break it up. Well, I am here to help you, my friends. That's what we're all here for. So check it out. There was a fun, super packed weekend for Serie A soccer that went down. And Inter versus Udinese was one that really stuck out to me. It was just 1-0, but what really stuck with me was the reliance on Mauro Icardi. That now Mauro Icardi is the target forward for Inter. He is exceptional, by the way. I mean, he is just an out-and-out great striker. Coming up in January, his name will be kicked around on the transfer watch, and you're going to see names like Real Madrid surface and Manchester United. But if Inter was smart, they would just pay the man what he wants to be paid and get that man some help, because they don't have a damn thing going for him when Mauro Icardi is not on top of his game. Or, in this case, when they ask him to do entirely too damn much to begin with. And I watched as Mauro would start off in his natural striker position and drop all the way back almost to a 10 because they couldn't get anything going. And I'm sorry, but when you're talking about a team that's in the bottom of the table that you're playing against, you should not have your striker dropping that far back to try to get any sense of offense at all. Okay, there's nothing. There was nothing there. It was just an absolute garbage performance from Inter. Spalletti, the hot seat is looking a little more justified, pal. Antonio Conte is out there. He's getting his money worked out with Chelsea. It's done. Just figure out a way to win without having Icardi drop all the way back to a 10 spot, because he's too damn good of a striker to do otherwise, all right? Just throwing that out there. The other game that stuck out to me was Torino versus Juve. It's the Turin derby. And if you want to know sort of the very brief rundown history of this, Torino, the team of the working class, the guys who like the ditch diggers, the box movers, you are a Torino fan. And Juve, of course, the high upper echelon. If you have money, this is the squad you're going to support. And if you are someone who immigrated, lack of a better term, to Turin for the work of Fiat, you probably became a Juve fan because, well, if Fiat ran Juventus via the Agnelli family, and you had to support your boss's team because you didn't want to be the guy who gets stuck on the worst rotation, on the worst assembly line at Fiat, because you decided to choose for Fiorentina or Bologna or Chievo. So, yeah, you're going to, yeah, Bianconeri, baby, all day long. Juve, of course. Oh, my God, I hate them. Yes, we've all been there, right? Your boss is a Cowboys fan, but you can't say I hate the Cowboys because, you really want to have that good review so you get the promotion and raise that you really need. Yeah, we've all been there. Okay, I had a boss that was like a Philly fan, and I had to go nuts for the Philadelphia Eagles all the time. Seriously, it happens, right? But I draw the line at cheering for. There are a couple of teams I just will not cheer for. Just understand. I'm not going to put them out there. I'm not going to pollute the podcast with their names, but I'm just saying it's not happening. Okay. This game was nothing. There was nothing pretty about it. I'm very sorry. If you watch this game on my advice on Friday. Or on Saturday as well, and you just kind of watch and you're like, man, God, Nick, you promised me this was going to be a good game. It is going to be a defensive game. It is going to grind down. It's what happens in derbies like this. Torino really has to scratch and claw. They're at 11th in the table. Juve is just, they're a super weapon, so you have to do anything you can to slow them down. Torino ran a 3-5-2, and they did a really good job of slowing them down. I'm pretty impressed. I thought that there were moments when Torino really should have gone ahead. Zaza got pulled down in the area, and they went to VAR, and they said it was no penalty, but on review, He got yanked the hell down, and he barely held on to the defender. And I'm just saying, I think it should have been a penalty, but this is not fixing. I've already seen tweets where people said, oh, it's Juve getting the calls again. No, now they own the VAR as well as the center ref. Stop. Zaza had a hold of the guy. What are you going to do? But the name Zaza would surface again on the opposite end in the 68th minute with the worst back pass I think I have ever seen. And my son plays U10 soccer. I promise you, I've seen some bad back passes. I'm just telling you that this was horrible. And the keeper, Ichazo, had to do what he had to do, which is come out and absolutely wreck Mario Mandzukic. And the call was justified. Ronaldo steps up, takes the kick, does what he has to do, except until he shoulder checks Ichazo, drawing the yellow card, which is exceptionally classless, and especially somebody who, like Cristiano Ronaldo, who kind of needs all the good PR he can get right now. Not really the best look for him. So it's just something that you need to, just if you haven't watched the game yet and you get bored, go on ESPN Plus, check it out. It is a fun game. The atmosphere alone is super electric, because Torino really hates Juve. If you go to Turin, you'll find that more people are Torino fans than they are Juve fans. So there's just something to consider for you. Also, if you are looking for gift ideas for Christmas, a Torino jersey looks glorious. It's this deep maroon color and just looks completely different than almost every other soccer jersey out there. Their logo has this awesome bull. It's like the bull that's like standing on its hind legs, sort of like the Lamborghini emblem. It's beautiful, right? Just go check it out. I mean, have the significant other pick up the phone to your local favorite soccer provider and find out if you can get a Torino kit. And if you can't get it from either World Soccer Shop or soccer.com or any of them, you could try Calcio Italia. That's CALCIO, Italia, with an IA at the end, .com. And they have all the Serie A jerseys there for you. Now, it does cost an arm and a leg to ship it, but that really shouldn't be a question, because you should be treating your significant other super nicely and super kindly and super wonderfully. So that way, something like $15 to $20 of shipping, that shouldn't even be a question, because they should be like, oh, my significant other's so awesome. Of course I'll spend all this money on a Torino jersey. And if you're not that kind of person who's that awesome to your significant other, you should take a hike, okay? And then you should buy yourself a horrible jersey, like a garbage jersey, like a Frosinone jersey. That's what you should get. If you're a crappy, that's what I'm going to start doing. For people who are really crappy to me, I'm going to buy them really garbage jerseys. Like go to buy the cheap, super polyester knockoff ones where you like every stitch and every seam is like, oh my God, it's like ripping my skin up. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You guys just gave me an awesome Christmas idea. Thank you. Oh my God. See, that's why I like doing this podcast, man. Something new always comes up. Something new and exciting and out of left field. Speaking of left field, the Champions League draw was done on Monday. Some wonderful matchups coming your way in February. Everyone keeps talking about how Roma got this great draw with Porto. And on paper, I'm inclined to agree. However, the more I look into this, the more I'm putting Roma on upset alert. Not because of anything Porto is doing right now, but because Roma is so inconsistent. And if you look at that team, Eusebio De Francesco is on like a Chernobyl hot seat at the moment. We're just waiting on Jim Pilota to find a way to get rid of De Francesco without losing technical director Monchi. And when he finds a way to do that, De Francesco will be gone. So this will be the series that I think will finally decide De Francesco's fate, because Roma really needs that Champions League money. And when that carrot has been removed, then Pilota has to act. Another exciting matchup will be Spurs versus Dortmund. In my mind, this is a matchup that really has all-time classic written all over it. Spurs' depth concerns me in this one, but if you are Katie Weaver, Katie, you have to pick a side. You cannot be the mom and say, well, I hope both sides win. And you're too damn competitive. I know you. You're too damn competitive. You have to pick a side. So if you pick Spurs, you have to trash talk Dortmund. Okay? That's how this works. If you have two favorite teams in the knockout stages, you have to pick a side and you have to roll with them, ride or die. And if they lose, they're out. Congratulations, your team is out. You can't follow your second team like they were your first team. Okay? All right? Are we all on the same page with this? Another upset alert I have is Ajax versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid, I just don't even know who they are anymore. Are they Galacticos? Are they the weak, disenfranchised version of the Galacticos? Because without Cristiano Ronaldo providing consistent offense, you never know what you're going to get from them. Ajax, I have them going through. PSG looking like a monster. Finally, Thomas Tuchel has done a masterful job of getting the most out of that side. Meanwhile, Manchester United, the wings are on fire. Oxygen masks have been deployed. We have lost cabin pressure. The fire trucks are at the end of the runway. And no one really knows where Jose Mourinho's head is at the moment. But if you see this man on TV, he looks exhausted. You see the bags under his eyes? I'm not bagging the man's appearance or anything, but to me, it just looks like he's a guy who needs a break. And we've talked about this before, about how he may need to step away from professional soccer for a little while. And let's say he doesn't. Then at least take a national team job somewhere, okay? There's just no need for the daily grind. And if he does take a club job, which I think he's going to do, just come to MLS and take over the LA Galaxy, because it's a team that I think you could have an immediate impact on. Even as busted and depleted as that team is, he could keep Zlatan in line. Zlatan does not play on turf. Zlatan only goes where Zlatan wants to go. Major League Zlatan. He's somebody who could keep Zlatan in line, and I think could actually do some things. But I don't think that's going to happen. And Manchester United really has no choice but to keep him at this point. It's a war between him and Pogba. And I think Manchester United's brass is just hoping that they can get through this season, keep Pogba, ditch Mourinho at the end, because they're not going to recoup their cash for Pogba in the January transfer window. That's what it all comes down to. The toughest draw of the knockout stage, I think, comes down... I'm actually torn between this one, between Atletico Madrid and Juve, and Liverpool versus Bayern. Liverpool versus Bayern, I think, is going to be a lot of fun. That may be the one game where I go, okay, I'm willing to do the microtransaction with Bleacher Report to watch that one live if they don't show it on TV. If they're smart, they will not show it on TV, and they'll put it on BleacherReport.com. But Bayern, to me, is on the back end of the Galacticos era at the moment, and I think they're going to have to do some retooling and reloading, which they will do absolutely. Don't worry about that. But I think this year it's Liverpool. So I have Liverpool going through. Juventus versus Atletico Madrid could be a little bit dicey for them. If Juve falls asleep in the first leg, all bets are off, because Atletico can hurt them. And they have the ability to be both explosive and grind you down to nothing when they need to, because Simeone knows what he's doing when it comes to that. He puts on a masterclass of how to grind a game to a halt. So Juventus will have to come out firing on all cylinders from minute one of the first leg. If they do that, Juventus will go ahead, and I think they'll win 2-0 in the first leg if they're on fire. If they don't, Atletico Madrid squeaks by with the 1-0 win. So if that should give you an idea of where I think that game's going. Everything else in the knockout stage is academic. Man City versus Schalke and Barcelona versus Lyon. Lyon could put up a little bit of a fight with Barcelona's back line, but again, Barcelona will probably try out their B team for the first leg. It'll be tight, and then the second leg they'll bring out the guns, and it'll be over. So there you go. Another tournament that's taking place right now is the FIFA Club World Cup. Why in the world do you need to pay attention to this? Well, because they have a team like the Kashima Antlers in it. That's why. You put some respect on that name. The Kashima Antlers. You better respect them in the streets, because they're playing Real Madrid tomorrow. Well, what would be today, Tuesday, at 11:30 a.m. So in that game, look, it's Real Madrid. They're going to run Kashima off the field, but stranger things have happened. I want Kashima to win just because they have a badass name. I'm not even hiding behind that. Then the other semifinal will be River Plate, who just got out of the Chernobyl nuclear Classico with Boca Juniors, and they will play Alain. And Alain has a player that I think, if you are an MLS club in need of a keeper, you may want to scout this guy. His name is Khalid Aissa, and he stood on his damn head last week against Team Wellington. And yes, Team Wellington, I know. It's not the most glorious of names to ever be trotted across a soccer podcast. But Team Wellington put up a hell of a fight, and they went to penalties. And this fool stopped 2 damn penalties in the penalties shootout, and it was exceptional. His reaction time, his ability to diagnose where the player is going, where the ball is going, is top flight. And I think with coaching and training, that guy could be absolutely next level. Scout that man. Now, I say this, and he's going to get just walloped by River Plate, and I'll have to eat crow. But you find anybody else on any other soccer podcast who's trying to scout a player for Alain in the FIFA Club World Cup for you. You don't get it anywhere else. And that's why I need a Christmas present from you, like your listenership and maybe like a good review on the SDH app. If you could do that for me, that'd be great. It'd be like the equivalent of Snickerdoodle cookies, which means a lot to me because I really love Snickerdoodle cookies, okay? So leave me a good review, huh? But really, the team to watch in that game will be River Plate because of Ezequiel Palacios and Pity Martinez, who everyone in South America knows is moving to Atlanta United. But Atlanta United will not, obviously, for obvious reasons, not acknowledge it. And if you go on Twitter, it's hilarious because you have people in South America, including like a janitor for TYC, who says, yes, I have verifiable proof that Pity Martinez is signing with Atlanta United. The deal's done. It's been written in blood. There was incantations and songs, and it got pretty, the clouds moved over. There was a ritual animal sacrifice. Yes, I saw it all. Pity Martinez, it's done. And then you have the other side that says, nope, that didn't happen. Atlanta United's name was never specifically mentioned. He just knows that he's going to a club in America. It's not that we don't need to have a pissing contest over this. He's coming to MLS. If you want to know the kind of player he is, and this is just my uneducated eye, he looks like if you are trying to compare him to a player in MLS currently, it's not Miguel Almiron. I would say he has Ezequiel Barco's handles, not Miguel's speed, but he has. I would say he's roughly about the same size, probably with a little more weight than Miguel Almiron. So his ability to work around the 18, his footwork, his ability to break down a bunker will be absolutely critical in MLS, especially with the playoff changes that they're doing where you'll have teams that will bunker and you have to break that down quickly. Whoever he goes to, quote unquote, will be in exceptionally good hands. So that's why you should watch the River Plate Alain game. That should be on FS2 at 11:30 on Tuesday. Something that did catch my eye, if I can just take a moment. I have to get my tea ready for this, okay? So. Okay. I have to do this because it's absolutely mind-blowing to me that this is happening. I was on Twitter, and I see where Dom Dwyer, the Orlando City forward, was ranting that he got kicked off of a training field when all he was trying to do was just train, do some off-season training, right? Straightforward. Immediately, here came the squadron of vultures to come jumping on these jokes. And yes, it was well-deserved by Orlando City. But understand this. Orlando City does not own the fields. Okay? They are the city fields. Orlando City is in the middle of building a practice facility. Good for them. That should be commended. Delayed, but commended. And I'm not here to just trash all over Orlando City. It's not that kind of show. We have people on who have reached out and said they listen to the show and they are Orlando City fans. I salute you, and I will not trash on your team right now. But I will say that this shows a much larger problem in general, because if Dom Dwyer can't get field time to train, what the hell is little Timmy, 12-year-old, going to do? That kid who just wants to go kick around, make a healthy choice, and get out from behind a screen and go make some positive damn changes in his life. What's that kid going to do? Do you know what has to happen? That kid has to go to mommy and dad or whoever the guardian is and say, look, I need to play soccer. I love the game. I want to go. Okay, great. We try a rec team. Okay, then you're paying, $30 or whatever to have your kid play in a rec league. Okay, well, that's once a week. So your kid gets outside for once a week. Woo! Good job. You've really done something in the world. Okay, so you want your kid to play more, so you sign him up for academy, which is a far more substantial investment. And now we're into pay-to-play, when all we needed to start with was an open field for some kids to kick a ball around. We're not asking for full open NFL-sized fields. We're not asking for World Cup quality pitches out in the middle of nowhere with lights and stadium seating and everything else. Seriously, just a small place where these kids can play safely. That's it. And if Dom Dwyer can't get that, professional athlete Dom Dwyer cannot get an open damn field where he could do off-season training, then little Timmy 12-year-old can't either. And that's the problem with growth and development of this entire damn sport for this country. We have to do better than this. I have been all over the world, ladies and gentlemen, all over the damn world, from the Middle East to Europe, right? I'm working on Southeast Asia. I will get there, but I'm telling you right now, Central America, been there. I'm telling you, every damn place I have been has had some kind of open place where people can play, where they won't get harassed and messed with, where you could just shoot on a goal somewhere and you're not worried if someone cuts the nets. It can happen. Just let it happen and stop trying to make everything down to a risk reduction equation, okay? Now, the people who do need to worry about a risk reduction equation, it's Orlando City. Now, I said I wasn't going to bag on them. This is a critical moment here. That team should have reached out to their players and said, here are 3 or 4 team-sanctioned, team-approved locations for you to do off-season training. Whether you want to do ball work, whether you want to do weights, cardio, whatever, you want to work with personal trainers, whatever, we have it all lined up for you. There's no guessing game here. Orlando City should have had this lined up. You had nothing else to worry about. You didn't have to worry about gearing up for a playoff run or booking a flight to Red Bull Arena for leg 2. You didn't have to worry about that. All you had to worry about was the offseason, and you botched it. You have too good of a fan base, Orlando City, to constantly be shoveling this crap on them. You just have to do better. And I get it, you're building a training facility, but your players should not be coming out and openly bagging you to the public. That's a no-go. Dom Dwyer shouldn't have to come out. Dom Dwyer should be like, here I am, cheesing on Instagram at this fantastic place that's a team-sanctioned, approved, wonderful location for me to do my off-site training. Here's a free advertisement. That's the Twitter drop that he should be doing. Nope. Joke time. Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, I get it. I get it. Just do better. That's all I'm saying. And America do better as well. Kids need more places to play. Atlanta's doing a half-decent job with these station soccer deals, but understand that there are a lot of kids in rural communities and areas outside of the metropolitan Atlanta area, yes, it does exist, that could use more open, safe places to play. Let's figure it out. It's Nick. It's the Garlic Bread Warlord. It's the soccer over there. Hot drop. Holidays are coming. Get your gifts. Do not be stupid and wait until the last minute. That's Nick's super Christmas advice. Yes, it's random. I don't care. You need it. Don't wait. Just buy something and don't cheap out, especially on your significant other. Don't cheap out on your significant other. You can cheap out on the kids. Get your toddler like an empty box, wrap it up with some wrapping paper. Kids love to rip paper and all that. Put a bunch of Kleenex in it, Like kids love that. If your kid's over like the age of 4, just get them some like used soccer equipment or something. You can do that. That's okay, right? Teach them a little bit of character, a little bit of respect. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to have Fortnite. They don't have to have, whatever the hell else, like Xbox One and, PS 19, whatever. They don't need any of that, man. Just get them a ball. Get them a ball and you take them to that safe place to go kick around and teach them the love of the game, all right? It can happen. And go out and buy these jerseys. Get these Serie A jerseys. They're hot. They're hot. Just like Hansel on Zoolander. That Hansel's so hot right now. Those Serie A jerseys are so hot right now. You're welcome. You're welcome. There's your shopping list right there. CalcioItalia.com if you want to get Serie A jerseys, even Serie B jerseys if you really want to be that soccer hipster. You can get them there. We're gonna have great content coming out in the upcoming days, my friends. Stand by. A lot of really cool stuff is going to be happening. Not just hot drops. We're going to have guests. We will be discussing women's soccer, Women's World Cup. It will be happening. Representation will occur, so prepare yourselves accordingly. It's Nick. It's the Garlic Bread Warlord. I love you all so much. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays to all of you. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. All of it, my friends. All of it. I wish you nothing but the best and for you and your families. We'll talk to you very soon. Mucha, mucha Euro, y'all. Santa Claus for all. Mwah. Chef's kiss.